Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this month's episode of the Experts Game podcast. My name's Matt Rudisell, and I'm your host. And today, instead of having some other expert on the call with us today, you get me. And I am going to be talking about Funnel Hacking Live 2023. This is the event that I just got back from. Some of you guys who follow me online have seen some of those videos, some of those posts that I've made, but I'm going to take you through the entire conference this week. And you see the slide I'm starting with. It is the most magical place on earth. We were in Orlando, Florida for the 2023 conference. And of course, we had to start at Mickey Land. We had to go to the Magic Kingdom to begin with. I took my family down. We had a blast. We got down on Saturday night before the conference started on Wednesday. So we're there for a few days, and we got to experience some of Disney all together as a family. And then as I went to the conference, the rest of the guys in the family, they went to, or all the girls in the family, I should say. They were just four of us down there. It was me, my wife, and my two daughters. And they got to experience Disney all week. And it was a blast. So we had a great time. But today, everything we're going to talk about revolves around knowledge. I got a lot to tell you about Funnel Hacking Live and some of the exciting things coming up. Super pumped about what's going to happen in the future. And these things just keep getting better and better and better. And I don't know if you can see this, but this was my fourth year at Funnel Hacking Live. They just keep getting better and better and better. One night we got to see Epcot before. It's just beautiful. And the whole park was that way. I mean, everything was just, this was, I can't say enough. I mean, these trips just keep getting better and better and better, and I love it. So give me just 1 second here, and we're going to get to the next slide. Started off with this. We had been to Disney for a few days, but I got this notice, and it was a secret, and I had to be quiet about it, and I couldn't tell anybody. But here's what happened. Hey, so there's a lot of people here, and I am heading to this really secret location. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see. Well, you see, I didn't get the camera turned around, and I had more to my video, but there was a painting on the wall. We knocked on the door, or the painting, and this door flies open, and they're saying, "Are you on the list?" And I was on the list. So I got to walk in, and we had a little get together. It made me feel pretty good after the fact of seeing that other people in the hotel discovered the secret room and said there was some secret VIP speaker getaway there on Tuesday. And I was lucky enough to get to be a part of it. So I'm very thankful that I got to go in there. And it was a little speakeasy. You can see some of the pictures here on the wall, some of the great people I met. This is McCall Jones and her husband. And we've been friends now for probably about 3 or 4 years. And she showed up there. She also spoke at the event, which was great. I'll talk about her a little bit later. But got to meet a lot of other people there. This is my friend Matt Gade here on the left. This is Travis and Catherine Jones. The guy right here in the middle is Jeremy Boughton. But let's just take a look at some of the other people there. So you can tell I had a pretty good time there. It was really the middle of the afternoon, but the atmosphere here was just really cool. It was secretive, just like any other speakeasy that you may know about or have been to. That's exactly what was there. And there was a little bit of you know, charcuterie, some snacks and things like that. But we had a good time just talking with everybody there. And then after that, we went to Hollywood Studios. You can see kind of what happened. This was the start of the rain. We had been in Florida for the past 3 years. This was the third year we had been in Orlando for Funnel Hacking Live. And I think this was the first year that we really got soaked. And this was the beginning. At the park that night, we rode one ride and then we stayed underneath this cover for about 30 minutes. The rain did not stop. We went and grabbed a bite to eat and then came back out in the park. It had kind of slowed down a little bit, but guess what happened? Everybody left except for us. And we got to ride probably about 3 more rides that night. We left the park at 9 p.m. that evening. And we were already wet. So what difference did it make? My shoes are still trying to dry out, by the way. I did not know we would go to Florida and have to shop for new shoes, but this was just day one of the rain. Then the next day, I went to Funnel Hacking Live. This is kind of our schedule. If you look at it really close, you'll see that we're busy. We start around noon on Wednesday, go to probably about 8:30 that night. It seemed like every day kind of ran a little bit longer than schedule, which is common. You know, things happen. There's a lot of moving parts here, a lot of people involved in this, and you know, things happen where you know things aren't always on time, which is fine. Nobody cares. I mean, we're having a great time. We're enjoying every bit of it. We honestly, most of the people there wish that it'd go on a little bit later. And for some of the people that stay at the on-site hotel, this was at the Marriott World Orlando World Center, something like that. They go around the clock. I actually stay off-site because there's a bunch of us that go, and we rent a house down there, which makes it a little more comfortable than trying to rent, you know, several smaller hotel rooms. But we went the first night till probably about 8:15. Second night, get there early, about 7:30, and leave around 10ish. I actually snuck out just a little bit early on day 2. Didn't get to see all of the final presentation, but that's okay. Very familiar with Dan Kennedy and what he does, and he was the final speaker on Tuesday night. So I probably snuck out of there probably around 9:30 or so. And then on Friday is our day 3. Get there bright and early again. About got here a little bit late this day. It's about 8 o'clock is when I showed up. But we were there until about 9:30 on Friday night, I believe. And then on Saturday, the final day, we got started early again, 8 o'clock, and got out of there probably around 5 or 5:30. Now, I have been there on Saturdays where I didn't leave the event until about 8:30 at night. So we got out a little bit earlier, but things were a little different this year. There's actually a concert at the end instead of a speaker. So I'm gonna go over all that. I'm gonna tell you everything that happened. But first, met my good friend Stu McLaren. Stu is a speaker there as well, and he runs a company that does helps people with memberships and membership sites. But he also, more importantly, runs a charity called Village Impact, and they build schools in Kenya. So great guy. Just ran into him in the hall, and you can see he's pretty photogenic. So this is how we started every morning. I thought, oh no, my video did not play. There's a video here. You can kind of see all the excitement, all of the energy. I had a video, but it's not there. So this is what it looks like from in the room. This is a big, huge stage, probably over 100 feet long. And there's not a bad seat in this entire house. There were probably about 5,000 people there not one bad seat in the whole place. Devon Brown is our MC, and he comes up and he keeps things moving. He's energetic. He is a former dancer, and he's got the moves. I mean, he keeps everybody going. What's unique about Devon this year is he started losing his voice. Started losing his voice about day 2, and it got maybe a little bit better at the very end, but it was straining for him. So, but he kept us going, kept us motivated, kept things happening. Big thing with Devon is his socks, and every day he had to share his awesome pair of socks. Russell Brunson, if you're not sure who he is the founder or one of the co-founders of ClickFunnels, and he spoke every single day. This is his conference. This is his, his event, along with the entire big team at ClickFunnels. But Russell's probably the brainchild of this event. I mean, he's the one that is the head speaker there. He comes out and he talks about all kinds of different things. And what's unique about this conference is this is not a sales conference, meaning that every presenter that comes up sells something from stage. That's not what happens. Matter of fact, nobody sells anything from stage except Russell in one, maybe 2 presentations, and that's it. Most of the time now, I shouldn't say it that way, because they do raise a lot of money, and they raise a lot of money for the charities like Village Impact and Operation Underground Railroad. So they may actually talk about that a little bit, but no one sells their products from stage except for Russell, and it's usually just one presentation throughout the event. And there's probably, I don't know, 20, 30 presentations throughout the event. So all of it is training, all of it is learning. And that's what I love so much about this conference, and what made this one so much better. And I told not Russell directly. It's kind of hard to get to talk to him, but I've got a really good friend who knows him really, really well. And it got to Russell that my thought on this conference was, the best part about it was when he came out, and before every speaker, he had about a 2-minute video that explained what that part of the conversation was all going to be about, because he puts everything in order. And if you really pay attention and take great notes, which is really super hard to do, and that's why Tim Castleman writes notes every year for this and then sells them, because they're so good. And he's got a team over there that's putting all these notes together. If you just pay attention and do it step by step, you've got your business built. And if you look down here at the bottom of the screen, you'll see something that says value ladder. You see that on the bottom. That's what this is all about. It's about going up your value ladder, and everything hinges on what was done before. So that's why I like this conference. Russell did a phenomenal job of coming out and introducing what each speaker was going to talk about. So that was very, very good. Next, we had Todd Dickerson, who is also the co-founder. These 2 guys are the co-founders of ClickFunnels, along with a guy named Dylan Jones. And Todd came out and really talked about what happened this past year with funnels, and how many got built, and all of this stuff. And then they presented a check to Stu McLaren, because they have a situation with every funnel that gets built. They donate like $1 to Stu McLaren. They gave him like $138,000 this year. It's unbelievable. This is a pretty big deal that Todd comes out on the first day, and they discuss a lot of things that have been going on over the last year. Then we had Brad Gibb and Ron Lee come up, and they really talked a lot about influence and how important that is in your business. And do you believe that it's possible? You have to be your core motivator. You know how to connect your products to their core problem. You understand why you must give your followers some type of identity, and you instill this belief through celebrating achievements. And they talked about all that, and it was pretty good. I mean, it's just getting started. So they don't keep it slow on day one. It's definitely big. Perry Belcher, one of my favorite speakers. I didn't realize he was going to be here this year. And I just found out at the last minute, which was fantastic because he's been in the marketing game for a long, long time, and he knows what he's talking about, and he's doing very, very well. He talked today about newsletters and why they're important, and it made me realize that that's something that I left out of my business a little while ago. I used to do a newsletter, and I kind of let it go, and I think it's because I got a lot of stuff going on, and I do a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there, and honestly, that's just not good. And I'm doing too much in too many different areas, and um, I've got to go through and make it a little bit easier, a little bit better. So guess what? The newsletter is coming back. I have got a copy, I think somewhere, I don't know where it's at, but I've got a copy of a friends newsletter right here, and picked it up this weekend, and it's a pretty good sized newsletter. I don't think mine's going to be quite that big, but it's coming back. Maybe an email, maybe a print, I don't know, but look for it. Maybe the end of this year. It may be the beginning of next, but probably the end of this year. So I'm excited about that, and I'm looking forward. If you guys are interested in joining my newsletter, just make sure you message me or comment below this video, or let me know, because I'll put you on the list. Okay. Also talked about making sure you choose a market, which is what we just talked about. Sometimes everything's just so crowded, and you kind of have to niche it down a little bit. Then Eric Thane came out. I had never really heard of Eric Thane that much before. I mean, I checked him out coming into the conference. I actually talked with him a good while on Tuesday night. He was in that little secret little get together, and we spoke for a good while. And Eric is pretty dang awesome. He talked about videos and short form, and he's a big YouTube guy. I mean, he does a lot of really cool stuff. Just came out with a new book called Create, and I was impressed. So not only was I impressed Tuesday after I spoke with him, I was really looking forward to hearing him speak, and he did not disappoint. He was fantastic. Of course, Russell comes back out and he talks about, a little bit about funnels and what they are. And if you're not sure what funnels is, don't worry, don't stress yourself too much about it. I actually teach a sales funnels course that I'll be happy to kind of share with you guys. But Russell talked a little bit about that, and he talked about focus, and that was something that was really good for me right then. He also talked about continuity and how important it is to continue relationships with people. And a lot of my seminars that I've done over the years have unfortunately been 1 or 2 night seminars. They've been small, short, and sweet, concise seminars, and I've got to start continuing relationships. So I actually introduced it before Funnel Hacking Live, but the Leadership Academy is growing, and we are doing a membership program right now where I can assist you with this continuity. It's not just a one-time thing. I'm working with you now, from now on, and until you decide you don't want to work with me anymore. I'm going to give you my all, and this program is kind of set up to do that. So when you have questions, when you have issues, when you have things that come up in your business, you've always got somebody to turn to. Sort of, I mean, it's a mentor, it's a coach, and that's what I want to be available for you guys. And then finally, we finished off the night with Jocko Willink. If you're not familiar with Jocko, he is a former Navy SEAL. He has written a couple of books. One was called Extreme Ownership. And that's what he really talked about tonight, about taking ownership of every single thing that you do. He was a great end to day one. Now, coming in, Jocko is kind of like the keynote. So why is the keynote speaking on day one? Well, I think there are some scheduling issues, but it really shows you the power of this conference. Even though Jocko was one of the keynotes and probably one of the highest paid speakers there, um, there's a lot of other ones there that are equally as good. And I'm gonna say everybody's probably equally as good, but they all talk to different subjects. So I think you get a lot out of every single one that you hear from. But he was fantastic. And then, of course, Stu comes up on Thursday morning. We're starting Thursday morning off right. Stu talks a little bit to begin with about memberships, about moving forward, and his message was fantastic as always. He's talking about setting a map with different stages. This is one of the things we do in the Leadership Academy. We have a simple 5-step process to get you from where you're at now to where you want to be. And this just kind of gave me a little validation because I had already set up some of this, and it gave me a little validation to know that I was kind of on the right track with a lot of the things that I'm working on. Garrett J. White came out and he spoke briefly. He also will speak on the very last day, and you'll hear about him a little bit later on. You don't know what you're going to get with Garrett J. White, but you always know it's going to be good. So he came out and talked a little bit. Dan Fleischman came out and talked about influence as well. And he is a major influencer out there, and a lot of people follow him and a lot of people watch him. I'm looking at my notes right now to see if I caught this message, but I don't think I wrote it down. But there was something in his business that he grew from like 2 or 4,000 followers, maybe less than 2,000 followers, up to about 10 million. I mean, it was unbelievable just in a short amount of time. And then my favorite speaker came out, and her name is Catherine Jones. And Catherine talked about strategy revolving around traffic, about getting traffic to your site. Catherine, I met a good many years ago. That is how I got to meet McCall Jones, because they are sister-in-laws. And Catherine is one of the best speakers that I think I've ever heard in my life. And she's young. I met her parents, and I'm pretty sure that her parents and myself are about the same age. Catherine may be just a little bit older than my daughter. She may be right around 28 to 30. But she has been a speaker for a good many years, and her message is so powerful. I'm going to go on a limb right now and say that she was probably the best speaker at the whole conference. She's not the most well-known speaker, but in my opinion, she was probably the best speaker there. And she's talked about the story of strategy. So it was really, really good. This is kind of her map out, all about collaboration. So you've got to find the right partners. Now, Kathy Yoder came up next, and I didn't know who Kathy Yoder was. You may know who she is. She is the air fry queen, I guess. She said she wrote a cookbook. She didn't even know how to cook. But her cookbook was on using the air fryer, and she grew tremendously overnight because of that. And she found something that nobody was participating in, and really, ran with it. And she was a fantastic speaker as well. She talked a lot about a strategy, or something that we talk about called the attractive character. Every business has an attractive character. If it's not you, who is it? If you're the only one in your business, you have to play in that role. But sometimes we don't necessarily feel like we're that way. I know plenty of businesses whose head person is definitely not the attractive character. I mean, and I'm not talking about looks, I'm talking about personality. I'm talking about being the head person for your business, the one that everybody sees, and Kathy talked about that a lot, which was really good. Consumers are more likely to buy from someone they know, like, and trust. If you've been following any of my classes, I've been saying this for 10 or 15 years now. It's absolutely true. You have to know, like, and trust somebody. You have to build that relationship with somebody. And Kathy just reiterated that and validated that as well. I found a lot of validation here. I was really pleased. And I will tell you this right now before I go further with today. Every single business owner, most everybody actually, feels this imposter syndrome from time to time. You feel like you're not good enough. You feel like nobody wants to hear what I have to say. You feel like I'm just not important. Well, when people know you, hopefully they become, they like you, and then they trust you, and then they build this huge relationship with you. And that's when people buy from you. So when we have this imposter syndrome, we have to realize that we're providing a service or a benefit to someone. It may not be for everybody, but it's somebody out there is going to know, like, and trust us. Somebody out there is going to want to do business with us. And you're good enough. You're definitely good enough. And don't have that imposter syndrome. Don't keep it. You're going to have it, but don't keep it. You know, you just know that you are definitely good enough, and that people are a lot of consumers are looking for people just like you. Okay. So she said the riches are in the niches, and you can see these are her YouTube videos. I don't know if you can see how many views on here. Most of these views are like 10,000 views. This one's like 27. This is 125,000. But that's a lot of views for somebody that didn't really know what they were doing. And she has made a huge business out of this. It's fantastic. And she says you got to start simple, just with 4 to 6 topics, maybe not even that many. And then Andrew Culver came up. He spoke a little bit about the status of ClickFunnels and where it's at right now. Andrew has come in as a partner to the business, and he basically sold one of his businesses and then partnered up with ClickFunnels. So he talked a little bit about his role there and what he did. And then finally, another great presentation on dramatic demonstrations. You can see here the slide about P.T. Barnum, and that's where a lot of this has come from. And of course, Russell presented this along with Steve Larson, and they talked about the steps that you need for having a dramatic demonstration. Get credibility, inform everybody, involve other influencers, launch the hook to traffic you can reach, and launch the hook to mass media sources. So you really just get out there and promote yourself, and then have the best demonstration you can. Bridger Pennington and Mason Baraines came out, and they spoke about giving funnels and giving things to their customers. They're kind of amazing with the way they market, and they didn't talk for very long, but they were hilarious. Which is always good to have a little humor, in the middle of a business conference. They talked about how they market pretty much anything that happens in life. I think Bridger, his wife had a child, so they had a baby, and Mason was back in the office, and he says, it's a big old baby sale or something like that. I mean, all this crazy stuff, and they just market based on circumstances, based on things that are happening. I've always heard that it's easier to document than it is create. So they just take things that are happening and turn it into a sale or turn it into an issue, a way to get people into a webinar or something. So they were really good as well. And then this guy shows up. I had no idea who Nehemiah Davis was. They call him Neo. And I got to meet him on Tuesday as well. So Neo and I had probably about a 20 or 30-minute conversation on Tuesday, maybe not that long, 15, 20 minutes. I knew he was going to talk about social media. I knew he was going to talk about some leadership training as well. And he actually got to speak twice at Funnel Hacking Live. One of the unheard of things, Neo is pretty dang awesome. And I was definitely impressed. I will definitely be watching a lot of his YouTube, and I'm connected with him now on Facebook, and it's surprising. I mean, he's posting all the time. I mean, it's some good stuff. So really happy about that. Talked a little bit about podcast mastery and how he has done well with podcasting. And then this big guy comes up, Satima Ghali. Satima played for the Patriots with Tom Brady. They won a Super Bowl under Belichick. Patriots not one of my favorite football teams, but this guy was pretty dang awesome. You'll see a picture of him live and in person right beside me in a few moments, and you can see how big this guy really is. But you can see him down here at the bottom of the screen. His message was strong. It was powerful. It worked out well. And then on what night are we on now? We're on Thursday night. Every year they give awards. So not only do we have a business conference, but we have an awards presentation. And during this awards presentation, these are two of my really good friends, Doug Boughton on the right, Jeremy Boughton on the left, and then of course on the sides of them are Russell Brunson and Todd Dickerson, founders of ClickFunnels. But this is an award called the Two Comma Club Award. 2 commas and $1 million. That just means you made $1 million in a funnel this year. There were over 500 people who got this award, and a lot of them did not just get one. You can see right now, Doug and Jeremy, they got 2, one each, I guess. So they had some funnels that had each done over $1 million in sales. Pretty impressive. What's also impressive is the fact that this was the small award, so to speak. There's also a 2 comma club X, which means you made 10 million in sales. There's a 2 comma club C, which means you make 100 million in sales. And they give that in stages of 25, 50, 75, and 100 million. And some of these people were getting several of those. So a lot of big time marketers in the room this week. This is Jeremy right here and Doug Boughton in the middle. And these are my friends Bart and Sonny Miller. Bart and Sonny run something called I Do Epic. And this is actually a 2 Comma Club award, but I did not get a picture of them with the bigger awards. So they have several of those as well. Got to meet some other great people. The Josh did not speak this week, but he was there. Josh Forte is really giving Catherine Jones a run for her money, in my opinion, as top speaker. He spoke last year and just blew the socks off of everybody. I mean, just phenomenal. Great communicator, great speaker, and that was pretty cool. And there's that picture of Satima. Take a look at this guy, how big this guy is. I sent it to my wife. I said, I just met The Rock. And he does have a resemblance, but really awesome and just a really nice guy. So that was that. This is Big Vic. This is Victor Newman, not from the soap opera, by the way, but this guy right here, he's from Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where he lives right now. But he he's from Atlanta, I believe, and he runs a training company to teach people how to um, set up box truck businesses, like delivery businesses. And it's a huge, huge deal. This guy's pretty awesome. He's one of my favorite people there. I met him last year and just happened to run across him again this year. So that was pretty cool. And then on the night of the second night, so this would be Thursday night, Dan Kennedy came out and was interviewed on stage. And if you're not sure who Dan Kennedy is, you should probably look him up. He is kind of the um, godfather of marketing. He is a print marketing genius. He has done newsletters. He's probably written, I don't know, 30 or 50 books. I mean, unbelievable. And it's funny when you watch some of his original marketing stuff. I mean, this guy doesn't use um, technology today. He is all about, like, he had an overhead projector that he was showing some stuff on. Pretty crazy stuff, but the message is very, very clear. So here comes Friday morning, and Friday morning, I had to get up early, early, early because my older daughter, who was in town with us, she had to fly out, and here's what happened.
Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. You're probably wondering, what in the world's Matt doing up? Yeah, it's 3 a.m. I'm getting ready to take my daughter to the airport. I'm down in sunny Orlando, Florida. Can't you tell how sunny it is? Um, but she had an early flight this morning. I got about a couple hours of sleep, maybe 2, 3. And as soon as I get back, I'll get a little bit more. But I just wanted to come on real quick and let you know that after I get a little sleep today, it'll be day 3 of Funnel Hacking Live. And if you've been looking at any of my posts, hopefully you're as excited about this as I am. Yesterday was awesome, way more than enough. And I'm excited because not only do I get to experience this live and in person, but I'm going to share it with you guys on Monday. So, Monday, October 2nd, 10 a.m., I'll be live on Zoom, and it'll be the Experts Game live monthly broadcast. If you guys want to listen to what's been going on, send me a message below. Say, I'm in, okay? Put I'm in the comments, and I'll send you the Zoom link so you too can join me there at 10 a.m. Monday, October 2nd. We'll be live on Zoom. I can't wait to see you there. Sorry about that light back there, but I will talk to you soon. Have a great morning.
Okay, so it's pretty early. I was trying to be quiet. I couldn't believe it. There was somebody in the parking lot that was that either just got into town or was getting ready to leave as well. Maybe they had an early flight also, but they were making a little bit of noise down the road just a little bit.
Good morning.
But it was pretty awesome, and I got over to Funnel Hacking Live, and it just got better and better and better because the guy came to here was on stage first. Eric Thomas, ET. And I'm going to tell you, if you haven't heard this guy speak, you need to. You need to go listen to him right now. You need to, well, not right now, just wait till I get done. But as soon as I get done, go listen to him. I mean, this guy was awesome, awesome, awesome. And he talked about using leverage to your benefit and refusing to be average in anything you do. I mean, it was fantastic. He said, anyone can do my job, but no one can be me. Now, of course, that was not what he said to begin with, but he pulled this out, and I took a picture of it real quick because it made so much sense. And that's how it is in your life. Anyone can do your job, but really nobody can be you. People don't watch or don't look at my seminars because of necessarily the content. Of course, they want to learn, but they want to hear me say it. They want to hear it come out of my voice. and they want to hear me explain it because they know that I'm going to explain it to them in a way that they'll understand. It'll be simple. It'll be easy. You can't go around speaking on a 12th grade level. And I'm talking to myself here, so I'm not saying anything about other people. If you come out and speak to me on a 12th grade level, I'm probably not going to understand you. I want something on like a 4th or 5th grade level. It's simple. It's easy. Can't talk to your kids like they've graduated medical school. You got to give them something easy to understand and simple. And that's how you have to do in life. And this is exactly what this quote's saying. Anybody can do my job, but no one can be me. No one can do it the way I do it. And it's not necessarily about doing everything, but it's about making sure everything gets done. So, how bad do you want it? Do you kind of want it? You're not sure? Do you really want it? Or is this a non-negotiable? You want it as bad as you want to breathe, and you won't accept no for an answer. If you're in any of these situations, especially that non-negotiable right now, that's what I can do with the Leadership Academy. That's where I'm able to assist you and help you grow your business. If you're interested, just let me know. Send me a message. And then Neo came back up again, Nehemiah Davis. And he talked about this time 6 steps to a pay challenge, to run a pay challenge, and doing really, really extremely well with that. This guy gets like thousands, tens, 20,000 people in all of his challenges. It's just unbelievable. He's really good. Now, this lady came up, didn't know who she was. I knew a little bit about her story. Her name's Barry Bungardner, and she puts on events. She is a big event planner, and I shouldn't call her an event planner. I mean, she's like an event genius. She works with Tony Robbins. She works with Dean Graziosi. She works with just finished up with Matthew McConaughey doing a big event with all 3 of those guys. She works with Russell. She works with a lot of different people, and she apparently does very, very well because they all keep hiring her over and over again. She's in very high demand. She talked about breaking things down into a smaller group of things, or expanding content into a larger group of things. So there's lots of ways you can repurpose content, and that's what she had to talk about. Benjamin Hardy came up next, and Benjamin has just written a book called 10X is Better Than 2X. I think that's the name of it. And basically, or 10X is easier than 2X. And what he's talking about is, if you're going to try to double your production, double your business, why don't you just go ahead and 10 times it? It's just as easy. It's just as easy for me to help somebody in real estate, sell $100,000 house as it is to sell $1 million house. It's just as easy. So that's what Ben Hardy had to talk about. And then I took this quick picture of some of the things with ClickFunnels, like 2 Comma Club. We talked about that. Then there's a Funnel Builder certification. There's Inner Circle, Category Kings, Atlas, and For Life. I mean, there's so many different options here. And I just put these down as goals, good things to look forward to. What you'll see in the next few pages is some of my family. This is not my real family, but my ClickFunnels, my Full-Time Freedom family. This is some of these people I don't know, but this is Jeremy Boughton right here. I don't know Kareem. I don't know how he got in there, but I did meet these 2 guys right here, and their names are kind of leaving me right now. This guy in the back is Jim, and this is Leslie. And they are wonderful, wonderful people. Just started working with Jeremy and Leslie back in July of this year. And I don't know, it's funny how you kind of feel like you've been meaning to work with somebody for a long time. They seem like I've known them for years. Great people. And this was just a picture we snapped in the lobby one day. Then we had to go back into the conference, and Caleb Pullen came out. Some of you guys may be wondering who she is, but I bet if I told you the name Lady Boss, you might recognize her. She is the founder of Lady Boss. Lady Boss is now owned by Russell Brunson. He has bought it this past year, but Kaylin came out and talked about building a following, building a lot of people. She built a huge following with Lady Boss, and she has that charisma and that ability to get people in. And then McCall Jones came out, and that's exactly what she talked about, charisma styles. McCall is an expert, and maybe we'll try to get her on the podcast one day. She's an expert with charisma. And I sat down and I wrote down, what my charisma style was and where I kind of fit in with all that. And I just looked down at the time. I gotta move through here. We are normally on the Experts Game podcast, we're about 20 minutes. And right now I think I'm going on about 45. So I'm gonna try to get through this pretty quick. She talked about some of the different styles and different things that we do in our life, and how the entertainment style is about attention, the compassion style is about trust, and the authority style is about action. Then Jody Moore came up, and honestly, I did not know who Jody Moore was, but she had a really good analogy about ability versus capacity. And she used the glass mentality. The glass is half full or it's not half full, whatever. But your ability is your current skills plus what you want to achieve. Your capacity is what you're good at plus what you haven't even considered is possible. And her speech was really, really good. What she talked about was fantastic. Russell came back up and kind of said, here, we're going to put it all together. This is something he calls the linchpin, and it just makes so much sense. And he just put all of this together with, you've got to be irrationally passionate about something and then just go deep dive into it. And then I made a copy of this because that's exactly what I'm going to start doing, start writing my email newsletters and create a success path for a lot of people. After dinner on Friday night, they had 6 speakers come up. Doug was the first one. So I'm in a training group with Doug Boughton. So it was really cool to see him up on stage. We all had front row seats, and just cheered him on. And he talked about some really cool stuff, and how he just kind of went for it. How he kind of made it happen in 4 short years, very, very short years. And the biggest thing is he believed in himself. And that's what I want you guys to do as well. Andrea Peer came up, and I never heard of her before, but she talked about agency frameworks and how to build agencies, and just gave us a 5-step process for that. It was fantastic. It says a 5-step agency journal framework, how to create that one-of-a-kind agency. Always thought about doing a full-service agency. I'm not so sure that's exactly my calling and exactly where I need to be, but it's still on the table. So if anybody out there is listening and have had that dream of an agency as well, get in touch with me. It doesn't hurt to run through some ideas, and who knows, maybe we'll work together. And then Chris Voss came up. Chris Voss, man, this guy is pretty awesome. And he talked about relationships and how important relationships and building relationships are. You've got to pour into other people. The doors of opportunity in life and business swing on hinges, and those hinges I call relationships. And he is Mr. ROR. That's return on relationships. We've all heard of return on investment, ROI, but he changed it over to return on relationships, which phenomenal. Tim Shields came up. Didn't really know who Tim Shields was, but Tim is a nature photographer. His pictures, I mean, you can just barely see on the sides here. I wish I would have taken some more pictures of his photographs. They're unbelievable. But he just wrote a book called Just Giver. And basically what he's saying in that book is that you've got to do it now. You've got to slay fear. You have what it takes. you got to seize the day. You got to take over and just give her, just do things as you can. Miranda Pierce, this lady is a firecracker. And what was unique about Miranda is that I just looked over to the right of me where I was sitting, and her whole family's right beside me. Her kids are right there. She's got I think two boys, and maybe a daughter, and then her husband. They're all right there. I mean, big family. And Miranda really talked about, you know, um, well, I'm gonna give you the title of her presentation: "How to Fill Your Funnels with the Blood of Your Enemies." She talked about ways to own your haters, and she gave some examples of how she really does. She is she's a firecracker, and that's the best. I have a lot of other great words for her, but she's just fantastic. She was unbelievable. I'm definitely going to start following her a lot more. And then Ben Carr came up. This was Saturday morning. I'm not going to say he was the keynote, but he could have easily have been. He was one of the top speakers there. Bitter over victim was his topic. You can probably see by his face that he was born a little bit different. And his mom made this point to him when he was younger. She said, "Ben, you were born different, so go make a difference." And he's had a lot of surgeries. He's had a lot of trials and tribulations in his life, but he went from victim to victor. And if I can encourage anybody to do anything, this is exactly what I want to encourage you to do. This guy is a prime example of how you take lemons and make lemonade. He is not only a phenomenal speaker, he's also one of the best, or has been. He's getting older. And I say older, he's probably in his late 30s, maybe. But he has been one of the best wrestlers in the world. He is actually competing again, and I forgot what he said he was competing for, but it's some unbelievable record. He was a 3-time NCAA wrestling champion. That's pretty impressive. A lot of people can't even say they're a 1-time anything champion, but Ben was a 3-time. So I was very motivated when I heard him. I loved it. He said, "If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm." See, fantastic. Myron Golden came up and spoke for a little while. He didn't really give too much of a talk, but he gave a talk about the most expensive things in our life and what we think they are, and what most people thought they were not exactly what they really were. And he said the cost of inaction is probably the biggest expense we'll ever have in our life. So I want you to think about that. Is there something you should be doing that you've been inactive on for a long time? Maybe you've never done it. Maybe you've never jumped out of your comfort zone to do any of this. Is there something in your life like that that you need to take that action on today? If so, let me know in the comments. Message me. I'll be glad to walk with you through it. Okay, and then there I am right in front of the Funnel Hacker board. Gary J. White came back up and spoke along with his entire family. They were all out there. I always like to take notes of the bulletin boards here, because I'll go back and I'll read through all of these things that people put up there. There's a lot of marketing being done here, but I'll take a look at all of this a little bit later on as well. If you guys are interested in any of this, just let me know. I'll be glad to share some of it with you. There's my mentor and trainer, Doug Boughton. And then we finished off with a concert by this guy who I had not really heard of before, but he was pretty dang good. Andy Grammer. I think he's won a Grammy before, maybe. I'm not sure. But he came out and he was really good. And that was supposed to be a video, but it was not. And then here's a picture we took with the entire Freedom family here. I think there's some guys that jumped in here that aren't quite part of that, but most of us here are. So there I am in the back row there. I had to stand up on that ledge because I'm so shorter than most of these other people. But some really great people here. My friend Dez on the back row and Mike Harvey here. Here's my really good buddy Matt Gade. There's Leslie. There's Jeremy. There's Doug. Tom. There's a lot of people in here. This is Jeffrey Bannock in the front. And guys, that was it. That was Funnel Hacking Live. It was fantastic. Next year, if you're interested in Funnel Hacking Live next year, let me know. I can figure out how to help get you tickets to go. But I shouldn't say to go, because next year's going to be virtual. It's going to be all online. You can watch it from the comfort of your home. And then in 2025, we will be in Vegas. So I am excited. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Experts Game interview or podcast. I didn't really interview anybody today, but I hope you enjoyed what I had to tell you. If you guys are interested in learning more about other business leaders and experts in their field, I mean, it may not be somebody who just owns a business. It could be somebody who works for somebody else. I've interviewed teachers and doctors and preachers and all kinds of different people. If you're interested in that, make sure you follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also see a lot of it through Facebook at any time. If you need to message me, please make sure you do so. You can find me online or just leave a comment under this video. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I wish you the best with your businesses. So guys, I will see you soon, and adios.